Hey there, just making this video to show newcomers how to get started with openmath. Direct yourself to openmath.net and then scroll down till you find the contributing section and click the source code link here. This will take you to another page, which is GitHub, so be sure to create a GitHub account before continuing on. Alright, if you have a GitHub account, we can now click this green button. There'll be two tabs. Select the code spaces button and click create code space on main. So what this is doing is it's spinning up a little editor that we can use in the browser to edit openmath. In the future, if you have your own configurations, you might want to start using that, but for just starting out and getting a feel of how this works, you can try it out in the browser. So as this loads up, it's going to install any dependencies for openmath, which there aren't that many, mainly just for the scripts, and I'll explain the other ones as we get a little deeper into this. But on the side panel, you'll notice we have some directories. So we're going to open the HTML directory, and that's where all the content is stored, which is probably where you'll be editing the most. So we'll dive into that in a bit. Right now, we'll just discuss a few of the technical sides of things for openmath and what we need to do to get it running. So openmath pre-compiles all LaTeX into MathML. That might sound complicated, but MathML is a standard for writing math in the browser, and it loads super fast, and we will compile it to that so that when people open the web pages, there's no kind of like waiting for stuff to load. It'll just be instantaneous. And so the way we do that conversion is we start up a new terminal. So click on this little down arrow next to the plus and select the fast HTML profile. And what it starts doing is it starts compiling all of the LaTeX in all the files and puts it in a new directory called the generated HTML directory. You can open that up. You'll notice it has the same structure, but it has the MathML version of those files. Right, so as that is compiling, I'll do some exploration here. So let's just see if we can find anything to do in the algebra section. Look at like vectors here. So opening up our first file, you'll notice that there's like a structure to this. And so if you want to make new things and you're just starting out, feel free to look at like this class and then equals and then definition, and that tells you like what exactly it is. So, you know, if you want to make a new proposition, you could just copy this, paste it, change the relevant parts, and that would work. There are ways to automate generating those things, but we will get into that later. Anyways, so in the terminal, you see that no files have been modified since the last check. So what's happening there is that when this runs, it will check for any changes and only compile those pages from now on, which is great. So now that that's running, we want to actually see the web page. So we're going to start up a new profile, and we're going to click the web server, which starts a web server for us to look at the website. You can click that green open in browser button, and after a few seconds, we'll be greeted with what looks like openmath, but is actually our own isolated version that we can work on. And in order to get to the right place, to that file, you might start a point-and-click adventure on these, but we've actually added a recursive search, which makes your life a lot easier. So shift space for that, and then I'm going to go to the vectors page. So I'm just going to type vector, and it's already selected one, and then I hit enter on that, and I'm in the right general place. And okay, notice that this one here isn't in title case. These ones are. So I want to fix that. And we'll fix one other thing, which we'll get to in a second. But let's first of all fix that. So I can just go in here. I can control left for of a line. Vector form of a line. Here we go. So I'll change this to title case, so that becomes a capital V, that becomes a capital F, and that becomes a capital L. And if I switch back and I hit F5 to reload, you'll notice that that's already been changed. And the reason why it's changing is because of fast HTML checking the file and then regenerating that. Another thing that we might want to do is make this a knowledge link. If you're not familiar with what a knowledge link is, a knowledge link is kind of the unique aspect to openmath where you can embed something which is known as a knowledge link, and when you click on it, instead of the web page changing to a new page, it opens that definition inline. The benefit being that you don't lose the context of the surrounding thing that you were trying to learn about. So you can kind of dig down a bit and then return back pretty quickly without having to reset the context of like being on a different page and not seeing the things that you were seeing beforehand. So yeah, let's make one of those. You can make them manually, but I prefer to use the script for that. So launch a new profile and click gen link. We're going to generate a knowledge link, and we're going to hit enter to make one. And then I want to get the definition of a vector. I'm just going to type vector and see if it comes up. It's the first thing. So you can press up and down to select the one you want, but I'm going to hit enter on that. And that's going to ask me for the text I want to insert like between that in that link. So I'll type vectors because that's what was there before. And at this point, if you were on a local machine, that would have been copied to your clipboard. But since we're operating in the browser, we're going to have to copy that manually, and I'll just replace what was there before. And you'll notice that fast HTML already compiled everything. So if I refresh that page, we'll see that it's now a knowledge link, and I can click that, and I can see that definition inline, which is great. Okay, so we've made some changes. I think I'm happy with how things are looking. But this has been on our local version of the site. So how do I get this onto the actual site? Well, the first step in that is going through the Git workflow. So Git is a tool that allows us to kind of make our changes in an organized manner. So what we'll do is under the openmath section here, and you look at changes, and if we click on that, it's going to show us a diff, which is what has changed between what was there before and what is there now. So obviously the capitalization and the knowledge link. So we're going to click plus to stage that change. The reason why we do staging is maybe you edited 100 different files, and you want to just kind of group the changes one at a time. So just like the linear algebra changes, and then maybe do one for like analysis or something. But we've made the changes, and then we write a little message. So fixed title case and added knowledge link, which I'm going to abbreviate with KL, and then I'm going to commit that. Okay, great. So I've committed it, but now I need to kind of publish that. So I'm going to click this button here called Publish Branch. And there's something called the upstream and the origin. I won't go into that in too much detail, but pretty much the top one is kind of the main version. And what you're doing when you work on it is you're working on your own branch. You're working on your own fork, which is kind of your own copied version of the website. So we're going to upload to ours. So click the second one that should have like your username there. Okay, so we've committed that to our version of the site. And now, so just to show you what that looks like, if we go to our repositories here, we'll notice that we have our own, version of the site. So if I click that, you'll see that we also have it's going to show us our newest change, which is that we fixed the title case here. Great, looks good to me. So you'll notice we can do this through the browser. What we're going to do is we're going to contribute, but we can do it through here as well. So when you want to contribute that change, you click create a pull request, and then we can just reiterate what we've done. So improved vectors, and then I can click create here. and we're trying to take what we have and put it into the main branch. So we're going to click create here. Okay, great. And it's going to show us this is what it looks like. This is great. And if you go back to the main Cup of Joe Man version, which is the one that I started, I can see that there is a pull request here, and that is the one we just made. And now you just have to wait for someone who's a maintainer to look at that and say, okay, this looks good. This isn't someone deleting the entire website, so we're good with that. And once they accept that change, then it will go through and it will be on the live site. Cool. So that pretty much covers the entire workflow of openmath. Obviously, there'll be some things that take a little more time when you're first doing stuff. So feel free to reach out in the Discord chat. But other than that, good luck.